Hey everybody, hope your day is going well. Welcome to this first video on this new channel, Saeed Reacts More. I am obviously Saeed, as the channel name implies. I also have another channel called Saeed Reacts where I primarily focus on music reactions, but I wanted to branch out, check out some different stuff, and YouTube really, it's better to split it up in a different channel. So here we go. I didn't really know what to start with because I want to check out different things, but music channel, I started it and then the audience led me to wherever I needed to go, and hopefully here it will be a little bit of the same. It will take shape after people start suggesting stuff and I get into the groove. But for this first video I thought, hey, I saw this one, American was shocked by the things that only European knows. I'm from Europe. I'm from Belgium. That doesn't mean that I'm an expert on all things European. We do have different countries and cultures within it. But still, I might learn a thing or two. We might have some fun. And it's a great way to introduce myself, because I am Belgian. So we get off on that foot. I'm also an author. But that really, what does that mean? I don't know. Let's go. We're going to check this out. So if you have any suggestions for future things, please let me know. I might want to check out comedy or trending topics and learn some things about the world as well. Because, the music channels really become, almost like a musical education. I've been discovering so many classics on there and learned so much about artists. And maybe this can take like a similar form, like a similar trajectory, like learning and having fun at the same time. So we'll see where it takes us. Let's go.
I'm from Normandy. We have to do 4 kisses on the cheek, and the most is 6 kisses.
It takes so long.
What?
One is very romantic. No, isn't it?
6?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I think that maybe American lifestyle is a little bit more lazy. Maybe like,
Well, you're talking to Italy and Spain, so...
better I just shut up.
Siesta.
Laid back.
I mean, okay, we don't really walk anywhere, just driving, and even if you wanted to walk, it's low-key dangerous.
But maybe it's because
Well,
the distance are...
I would think people in New York would beg to differ. There's some cities you can, that are better for walking, others that lend itself to driving, but America is much, much, much bigger than Belgium. So yeah, you definitely need a car. Here it takes 3 hours to drive cross country diagonally, right? Diagonally. And I'm seeing the Belgian flag right here. So, well, let's see.
It was huge, everything.
Oh,
The
yeah.
distance, that's true, but I also went to America
That's what I just
before,
said.
and I was with my American friends, and we were in an outdoor shopping center type thing, but then we wanted to go to another shopping mall. It was just across the street, and then they wanted to walk back to the car, and I was like, you just have to cross the street. They're like, no, it's too far, and I was like, we're looking at the building.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But in their defense, though, if you want to leave after the shop, you could just get in the car and leave, right? Or if you have a lot of stuff with you, you can, you don't have to drag it across the street. Maybe I'm just lazy as well.
And when you live in a more populated city, it's kind of more dangerous because we do allow guns in America too.
That's crazy. That's something I could never even imagine because we grew up without any guns. It's something
That's
you see in
true.
movies or that the police have, and even they need a special license to carry it out in the public and stuff like this. Because what if I don't get home? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's definitely a difference in culture that I don't know about most Europeans, at least in Belgium, most Belgians live their entire life without ever seeing a real gun, I think, especially the ones born after the war, right? Yeah, that is true. She was correct about that. Paying to use the bathroom, yep.
Oh, yeah.
I know
That
this.
sucks.
Can you guess what?
Is it Metro?
No, it's the...
It's a lot
Bathroom?
more than 50 cents now.
Oh, you have to pay to go to the public restroom?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think
Yeah.
if you don't pay, it's really bad bathroom. And the
Also
the more
true.
you pay, the better, like the cleaner the bathroom, because they use the money for keeping it clean and nice. And this
That's
one
what they
is
want
from
you
a
to believe.
German stop at a highway. And then you get this like 50 cents coupon. And then when you buy something in the store, you actually get like 50 cents off.
So it would be
That's
free
true.
or
No, it's
You get, you know, you put the money in the stall or you put your card next to it or your phone, and then you get this little coupon, and then you can buy something, you know, 50 cents, I guess, reduction right off the price. But everything is overpriced in these gas stations anyways. And you can only use one coupon per purchase, so hey, it is what it is. I did go to France a lot with the car, and there I didn't have to pay as much as in Belgium. Belgium, they're gonna charge you. They're gonna charge you.
when you buy something in the store, you actually get like 50 cents off.
so it would be free or
No, it's always more expensive than 50 cents.
oh, okay. How
Gross.
much is like one bathroom break?
It's like €1. For this one, it's €1, and you get like the 50 cent. These bathrooms are amazing because they're clean, they smell nice, you don't have to worry about anything. So it's actually okay to pay.
Unless
it just
you go
gets
to the
annoying
men's
if you don't
bathroom.
have any cash or anything. Because
coin
you
with
forgot it
you.
in the car, you're like, oh no, I have to go back, but that's...
These days you can pay with your phone though.
Oh, really?
Some of them you can pay with your phone, like Apple Pay.
That's cool.
In France, we have it too, but you don't have discount. Like you just pay and you don't have anything, just clean bathroom and that's it.
I think in my case it's more common just to go to a bar. If, for example, you buy a water or a coffee, something very simple, and you can use the bathroom. That is like the polite way.
I think yeah, it's quite similar to America.
Same in Italy, but sometimes like in resting areas, I feel like most of the places are free. You can just go and like use the bathroom.
For us, in McDonald's, you still have to pay sometimes. Like even if you bought food, you still have to. There's like a little old lady who sits there in front of the bathroom, so you have to give her like a few coins so you can use the restroom.
Okay, so a situation is like because there's so much driving, there are rest stop area for you just to use the bathroom and whatnot. Because honestly, I don't think Americans are paid enough to care. But in general, like it's also not polite, so you should buy something. So people will usually just buy like a soda or coffee or something like that. So it's quite similar to like Spain, I think.
I think they cannot put the naked
yeah,
people in the picture. That's
In France, they
am I looking
definitely do.
I'm so confused.
So for me as a German, it looks really, really familiar. We used to always go to the Baltic Sea, like, or to the North Sea in Germany for vacation. It's cheap and it's great. And the beaches would look like this, so packed. And what you don't see here, there's also a lot of public nudity. Especially, it's like more for the older generations because they grew up, you know, just not caring.
They are more open-minded than us.
In a way, yeah, but it's just because it's so normal for them. They don't even think about it. It's like not in a bad way. It's just like, that's just nature. So they just, you know, show everything they have and
They
go take a bath.
already accept their bodies. And
Yeah.
Can I ask, what are the white pillar things? Are they like blockers?
We call it Strandkorb. It's like, it's kind of, you can reserve a seat and then you can sit inside. So this is from the back side, but it's
okay, so
actually
there's
a
people
bench
sitting
like,
in them.
inside. So you have a little bit of like a resting station and shadow. And you have a little table so you can put your drinks there.
In France, actually, we go to
We don't have those, but we do have cabins here, but those are quite expensive to, you know, to rent out the entire summer. Then you can put your stuff in there, and so you don't always have to carry all the stuff to and from your home. But you know, it's usually reserved for people with a little bit more means than us common folk.
2,000 of friends to go to the beach, and you see the guy with the shirt and the woman with like underwear swimsuit, but you don't have to be surprised if you see a woman without the top because we like to take the sun. So They want to just here tan skin, but here like white. Yeah, so many women do that. But also we have some special place for people that like to be all naked. But
Yeah, naked beaches.
Oh, you have that.
yeah, Italy.
Right, I have one 15 minutes from my home. I've never been. I've never been. I've never been.
It's the same in Belgium and I think in Germany too. Not separate, like they are not women and men part, it's together and we are all naked too. Or we can have towel, but it's like even forbidden to take swimsuit.
I think in
Well, at the
America,
nude
actually, I
beach,
have no idea. Do you guys know what skinny dipping is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they just do that wildly, I don't know. I mean, in terms of like beaches, I of course knew that existed. It's always talked about in media and stuff. Like it's just kind of there, hovering as a concept in like movies and TV shows like that. But also, I think Americans are really comfortable with just wearing proudly about their body. I think they're more okay with like nudity, but it's just about the law, whether or not it allows it. What is paid maternity leave like in your countries?
For example, in case of Italy, we have 5 months where you can stay home and like take care of your newborn. And while you're home, your company is still gonna pay you. You can choose whether you want to get like 2 months before the baby is born and then 3 months after, or 5 months like after the baby is born. These days also dads can get a paternity.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
You get the same salary, but you're not going to work.
I'm not sure about in Spain the month and exactly, but I think it's all the same salary of the previous month.
For the USA, I think it depends on the company. I don't think it's decided really by the government.
To me, that's so weird because I feel that usually like Americans, like the US, they always try to like protect somehow the human rights in a way. Like I'm talking about my job, I'm an actress, and I know that there's like some kind of association there in the US where they protect actors' rights. But then when it comes to these things which are more natural, like having a baby, there are no actually rights. They don't really protect the mothers. So to me that's weird, like to know about this.
It's like, well, the thing about America is I think they're really based off of making money. So when a company, like, they try to push their benefits onto people, but it's more like making the employee more loyal to the company so that they'll work harder for it. So the benefits are really just there as an incentive, but it's not really seen as like a better for the people themselves.
I know that Germany also has paid maternity leave. It's a few weeks before and after. I think maybe in total like 3 or 4 months. I could be wrong, but 100% more than 4 weeks before and more than 4 weeks after.
In Belgium, it's the same. Maybe my fellow countrywoman will correct me, but I am a father, so I know a bit about how that went about. But it has changed a bit. You know, for my wife, I think it was like she said 3 months. And for the men at that time, it was 10 days, and that was an up from when my father had me, because I don't think there was any back then. And now I think it's 20 days for the men in Belgium. So you can take that to stay at home with your wife and child, which is great, man. Come on. It is it is the essential thing to life, isn't it? And, you know, it's so essential to spend time with your newborn, man. I don't want to go to work. I want to be at home with my wife and kids. Hey, that's a great show too. Remember that show? So funny. Hey, man, yeah. I never knew that in America, you have maternity leave, or is that actually decided by the company you're working for? So it's different with every job then. Yeah, I get it. You know, what I do know about America, you know, you want less government involvement, right? Which I do understand. I don't like that either. But in this case, for the maternity leave, I do support that because it's so important. And leaving it up to a big corporation, hey, some will do you good, some will do, you know, only what's in their interest, you know, I guess most cases. So Yeah. Hey, I'm interested to find out if if any people from the US are watching, because we're getting a couple of sides of Europe. We're getting one side from an American. It might be some things wrong in there or not, or left out. So if you have any addition to this or correction, please let me know.
Yeah, and I used to work in a German company and we had someone leave and it was just a no-brainer. It was like, there was no discussion, just okay, yeah, sure, go ahead, take your time, and everyday life.
So I also know it's really, that's what I've heard, for it to be really expensive to have in America. Like my cousin just recently had her first child. She was visiting one of the Dutch islands and then her water broke and she was transferred by helicopter to go to the hospital. I asked my mom, like, oh my gosh, like, was it expensive? Because like helicopter, my mom was like, no, government paid everything.
Oh, that's so nice.
In the US, you have the
Healthcare.
baby on the island, probably. They're gonna leave you there. They'll be like, you okay,
After in canoe.
Water is good for pregnant mothers.
Not salty water. Oh, the kiss
People
hello.
kissing.
Kissing to greet.
It's not
kiss
really
hello.
that normal, to be honest. It kind of depends on what class you're in. So if you're like the upper class, like more elite, it might be more common just because those be the people that are more well-traveled and pick up those customs along the way. If you're like higher class, maybe, but it's definitely not normal by any means.
Oh man, that's one of the things I do not like. Who remembers that Seinfeld episode, the kiss hello? Yeah, man, here it's like 3 kisses. One, if you're just greeting, if you have something to celebrate, then it's 3. Moi, 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 but I say, moi, moi, moi. Usually when I leave a get together, with more than 5 or 6 people, I just say, hey, everybody, put your hand up in the air. And then they do like this. Like, see you later, guys. Is that rude? Is that frowned upon? Yeah.
Yeah, actually in France is really famous for that because we always greet by a kiss. If it's 2 men, they handshakes. But if it's 2 women or woman and a man, we kiss. But also there is a rule in France, like it depends on the region and it's different numbers of kiss. Like
What?
I'm from Normandy and there we have to do 4 kiss on the cheek. Some are
I thought
only
3 was
2,
allowed.
like Paris is only 2, and some the most is 6.
It takes so long.
It's really
That there are some people that when they kiss you, they leave some saliva on your cheeks. Think about six kisses about that. It's like having a llama.
But we have to.
In some cultures, you're married after you kiss them 6 times. What's going on? 6? I never heard about that, though. European is shocked by the things that only European. What? 6, man? That's wild.
Do it. Just
For example, in Belgium, it's only 1 kiss, and usually on the right side. And so sometimes when I meet like French people, it's like they start different side, and so we almost kiss on the mouth because it's different because
bobbing
they
and
start
weaving,
like left and after right, I think. And so we are. Yeah. Also,
Sometimes
I
you have 3.
Like meet some American and they hug usually, so they come to me for hug, but I forget they're American and not Belgian and French, so I just kiss like this and they're like, what are you doing?
Is it normal?
I can hear in her accent that she is from the French-speaking part of Belgium, and I'm from the Dutch-speaking part. But I did grow up on a lot of American films and series. That's why, my English, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I can hear that she's from the French-speaking part. There's 3 official languages in Belgium. It's Dutch, Flemish is how we call it. It's almost the same as, Dutch from the Netherlands, just with a different accent, comparable to UK, US English. And then we have French, also a little bit different than the French in France. And a small part is German speaking as well, close to the border. So yeah.
For you, your country to like hug when you meet?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's not like a big hug, but maybe just takes their shoulder like a kiss.
For us in France, we never do it. We don't hug to say hi. If we don't know, we also kiss. Or if it's boss, we handshake. Or if it's friend, just handshake like this. Yeah.
In Germany, we tend to hug more. It's more normal to hug. And we did the kissing only in high school, like with our like classmates. So not with older people, not with strangers. It's more normal to hug people you're closer with, or if it's a friend of a friend and you're kind of introduced, it's okay to hug because you're on the same level. But to older people, no kissing and no hugging, just handshake.
But don't you think that in your case, for example, you said it's just one kiss? In my case, it's like, okay, if I do two, or better, I don't do anything, because with just one kiss, it's like...
One is very romantic. Yeah, right? One is like, No?
But you don't even really kiss. You just like, you're doing this cheek to cheek kind of thing. And you're not even touching with any lips or something. You're just like, it's this, and then you do, mwah. You just make the sound or something. Isn't that how? I don't know, man. I try to avoid it. Yeah, man. But I do think it depends on, generations or friend groups. Within different friend groups, there might be different, not rules, but just different ways of saying hello, right?
Isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it's just mostly for relatives, I guess. It's just very old tradition.
Hey, we know how to do that.
Oh my god.
I like it.
I love it.
It's the thing on the
We're talking
car.
about the stick shift, right?
What do you thought? I want to say joystick, but I know that's not right. It's for like manual cars, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. It's really 50-50 in America if somebody knows how to drive like that or not.
So I feel like we were used to like have this manual stick in Italy until a few years ago. These days we also have many like automatic ones, but
Same.
still I
Here.
enjoy using this more because every time I drive I feel like I'm relieving my stress. I don't know, like doing this movement every time. First of all, I feel the car more. And then,
You got
I don't
some
know,
anger
I'm
issues.
like, yes, let's go.
I feel like you're in Fast and the Furious, where it's like you're like, yeah.
And then like 20 kilometers an hour, but still, I really enjoy like doing this.
As a car lover, I can only drive that one. In France, it's really popular. Yeah, I was a racer in France, so for me, it's an insult to use automatic or electric cars.
Insult.
Sorry. Actually, the automatic cars are really expensive in France, so you can get it, but manual cars are really useful and more usual for us. So
I'm not sure now, but we had to do the driver test only with the manual. We cannot do it with the automatic.
oh, you can.
Oh, well, now we can choose. Not when I was doing my license, that's 20 years ago. There was only stick shift. Now they have the young people or the new people have the option to choose whether you want to learn and take the test with an automatic or with stick shift. If you do it with a stick shift later on, you can still drive an automatic. If you have a license that says I did my test with an automatic, you can't drive a stick shift. So why not do the stick shift thing? It's always great to learn that. And I drive a manual, my wife drives an automatic, so it's great to switch in between sometimes. Hey, come on, man. But yeah, I do know that by watching a lot of American movies before, when I was really young, even in the 90s, I think automatics were already like so prevalent there, I think, based on just the films I saw. And here, back then, people didn't even know that existed. Some did, but most people didn't even know manual cars, automatic cars existed. So it's just been in the last 5, maybe 10 years that it's, really become more prevalent over here. And we're catching up. We're catching up, America. we're a few decades behind you, but we're catching up.
And in France, we can. You can?
Maybe you can apply for it like a preference.
No. Like you have the choice, like you get your license, only automatics, but then you can't drive manual. If you do with the manual, you can drive automatics.
didn't have
So
that
it's the same in France as in Belgium.
Yeah, in Germany too.
In America, you just take your test with your own car.
So you have the car before you actually have the license?
Before you can get your actual license, of course, you have to get a permit, and that allows you to like practice on real roads. But somebody
have that
over
too.
21 and with an actual license. Actually, no, I think they just have to be over 21 in the car with you. So once you have your like permit and stuff, then you can take the actual driver's test. And when you take the test, it's in literally whatever car you show up in that day. There's no necessary registration. Like you don't have to give them anything. It's just whatever you show up in that day. So it could be your car, it could be your mom's car, it could be stolen off the street and probably they wouldn't know any different. But yeah, so if your car is in stick, then your driver's test is in stick. If not, then it's automatic.
They wouldn't know if it's a stolen car. You just, start it with a screwdriver. Don't ask me how I know that. Oh, tipping. Oh, that's stressful, man.
Points?
Tipping. I remember correctly, like your tip is based off of your bill, and you should pay like, I don't know, like 10% if it's really bad service, and
that never
15%
made sense to me.
if it's like good, and 20 if it's great, like that. But actually, I think from what I heard these days, it's really different. So if it's bad, you should pay 20. And if it's okay,
What?
25. And if it's good, you
No
pay 30.
way.
That's so much.
Okay, is there a tip in Europe?
I mean,
Not really. Oh, man. I remember, when I was 21, I went to New York for the first time in the US. It was the first time I went there. And I looked up because of watching all these films, Tarantino, Reservoir Dog, tip, everybody put in $1. I was so stressed out about it because I didn't want to look like a cheapskate, right? But then I started reading up on the internet where to and how to tip, cab driver this much, the person who takes your bags up in the hotel, $5 a bag, or, I was totally stressing out, when I was going to a restaurant and, my wife, we weren't married back then, but, she's just enjoying her meal. I'm thinking about how am I going to do this? What is the tip going to be? I was stressing out for that, man. Oh my God. And I was never going back anyway to that same restaurant, but I still wanted to do it, the right way. Oh man, I was so stressed out about that because we are not used to it at all. We are not used to that at all. Oh my God. Oh.
And if it's okay, 25. And if it's good, you pay 30.
That's so much.
Okay, is there a tip in Europe?
I mean, there is, but it's not a lot. You usually just like round up, or you just give like the extra change that you have.
It's not
I do
big
give like
amounts.
5
Okay,
sometimes.
so in Italy we don't usually, but if we really like the waiter or the waitress, then in that case we can like freely decide to give some money.
It's usually not more than like €5 or something.
Yeah, €5 is quite good. And actually, I mean, in a super meal with a very good service, maybe 10. And when you see the 10, it's like,
Yeah, that's
whoa.
crazy. Yeah.
Is the person expecting you to give the tip?
No, no.
Not
Yeah,
really.
same way.
They appreciate though.
How much is like €1 to like a US dollar?
It's quite the same.
Okay, it's about the same. Okay, that makes sense. How much is like a normal meal? Like if you just went to a casual restaurant for lunch?
$25 in France for
Yeah, same 22.
Usually when we go restaurant, we don't go often, but when we go, we take entrance, like main dish, dessert, drink, so it's really more.
Okay, that makes
But
sense.
I think the fact that we don't make tips is because the waiter is paid better than in America,
Yeah.
so they don't really need it. Sure, they prefer. We always prefer win more money, but I think most of the money they win in America come from the tip.
Yeah, and I think it's general in Europe, like in the restaurants, if it's not fast food, people tend to do many things handmade. They serve you, they go to the terrace and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, it's worth it also if you give a tip for that person because they put effort. It's not like you go to a restaurant, you have a machine, you just put whatever you want and you have like a fast meal. So
The issue with America is they actually do have stuff like that where you're putting it into the computer or whatever, and they expect a tip after that. I think there's a lot of things where you just order, let's say like we're going to go order like pearl tea or something, and literally all the person at the register is doing is taking your order, and they like turn this little menu around and it says, leave a tip. You can choose 15, 20, or 25, or
really?
custom. And it's just like awkward because they're sitting and watching you and like,
Oh, yeah, you can't almost say, you almost feel so, obliged or to do it. It is starting to become a thing over here as well, especially with apps like Uber and Deliveroo, with the automatic message you get, you want to leave a tip. And now when servers come to your table in Europe, they also, if you pay by card, they say you want to leave a tip, which usually that never happened, that question. That was never asked. And once you get, you kind of feel like you have to, and they know that, of course, but it's, things have changed since that movie from Maternity. You don't tip at McDonald's, you tip here. Remember that scene? Great scene. So now I hear even if you order by a machine, then you gotta pay tip at the register. Is that correct? Or is that not true? I don't know. Let me know if you know.
But also, I don't know if it's like this in other countries as well. Depends on the restaurant, but if you give a tip to the waitress, doesn't mean that the waitress can just take it for themselves. Like it gets distributed to everyone. For the team, yeah.
I was a waitress in France and bartender, and sometimes like they give tips, and they split between the team. Or if the customers say it's for her, it will come to me, only to me. That's
room temperature water.
Not on the fridge, not hot, not cold.
Yeah.
I think as far as America, a lot of Americans prefer their water with ice. So if you go to like a restaurant, it's going to be this big glass full of ice and water inside. How is that for Europe?
I feel like Italians don't really like cold water. So when we go to restaurants, actually they try to serve us cold water. Mm-hmm. But my family, for example, and I know many other people that do that, we really ask for room temperature water. Because I don't know, I feel like it's bad for our bodies, especially if we eat something hot with it, we're gonna go right.
The outside temperature is very different.
in France it's same than Italy.
But I think in Spain during the summer, there is people also, it's common to see cold or fresh water or with ice, but
it's refreshing,
I think just during summer.
I think in Germany,
I like cold water, but at the house it's just room temperature. But I like getting served cold water. Yeah, man. But it is true. We usually have just room temperature water, but I do like some water with some ice in it too, man. Ooh.
we also have room temperature, but we don't even talk about it. It's just so normal. If you want ice, you ask for it. At least that's my experience. But also in Germany, we always have to pay for water. So in restaurants, there's no free water, except if you ask for tap water. It's not on the menu, you just kind of have to know. And if you know, you can ask, and then sometimes they will bring you tap water or not. They can refuse. So if you buy water, I think most of the time it's cold because that's just how they keep it. But it's not because people like it.
Yeah. I think in our case during summer, the waiter should to ask, like, you want cold water or?
In Belgium, maybe at home we don't put in fridge or put ice, but in restaurant usually the glass come with ice on it, and the water is cold too because they put it in the fridge and after they give to you. We don't complain about it and just drink it cold, but usually at home we will drink like room temperature water or drink.
Yeah, for us, like the bottle they give you is cold because it comes from the fridge, but there's no glass in the ice, like unless ice in the glass unless you ask for it.
I think I grew up actually knowing a lot about European culture. Not everything, I never lived there, but I have a lot of friends from Europe, and also like I grew up learning German, and my German teacher was like, she really loved Germany, so she would always talk about like, we do this in Germany and that in Germany, so I had an idea of everything.
You know better than me.
It was really interesting to see everybody's point of view on things.
Yeah,
I was really
is.
surprised by the bathroom though. That really took me by shock.
So I expected that there would have been some differences between the US and like Europe. But to me, it surprised me about the maternity leave. That was the one that shocked me the most.
Yeah, the question,
The
like,
6
like
kisses.
the answer she said about the 6 kisses, that was
That's wild,
too much
man.
for me. I feel like 3 is already my limit, so if it's like after 6, like after 3, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I would lose count, I think,
Jesus.
at some point, and then I'd start getting like social anxiety, like when do we end?
Or maybe look at each other like it's the 4th or the.
Yeah, actually, when it happened, like
It happened.
Yeah, it happened to me. So no worry.
So today we talked about the things that only Europeans know.
If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
We will see you soon.
Bye.
Well, I definitely had some fun, and I definitely learned a thing or two. You know, tipping, that's something that I'm always curious about, because if I travel, I do want to make sure that I, you know, abide by the customs that are used in said country, you know, that you don't want to, you know, be rude or anything. And the 6 kisses, what? That is, you know, that only European. No, I never heard about this. So you see how many differences there are in countries. You know, it is Europe, but there's still different countries, different cultures within it. Even within one country, there's so many differences. So, yeah, man, I want to check out more videos like this, because it was a very interesting thing that she said at the end. You know, I enjoyed hearing different points of view, and that's how we learn. I love that too. So I see they have great videos on this channel, but if you have any other suggestions, you know, like to learn about different cultures, or like things about the US that we don't know, because I do, like I said, I watch a lot of American cinema, but that's movies, right? I do watch documentaries as well, and I've read a lot about the US and in history, and you know, I watch a lot of YouTubers going around in the US, like Peter Santinello comes off the top of my mind, who really travels around and shows life how it is, and there's many others out there. So I do want to learn more about different cultures through this channel. Also, want to watch some funny stuff as well, trending topics. So any recommendations are welcome. And from there on out, I will see where this channel will take me. I'm very interested to see where it goes. Thank you for being here. Hope you have a great day. Peace.